Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Devin Adams. I'm a Fortinet instructor here in Tempe, Arizona for Dynamic Worldwide. And yeah, I'm recording these videos for the people who take my class, and we've been for like the last 20,000 videos been building this topology. And in the last video, we essentially turned on the FortiManager, right? We got it registered, we got it configured, right? We got admin access to it, and we also replaced the virtual switch that comes with GNS3 with a open V switch. So, and the reason why I did that, this is going to get noisy in here, right? And it's just been my experience. And like I said, it could be all in my head, but these handle the traffic better. So, good times. Okay, so let's keep on moving on. And now, believe it or not, we have enough for an actual demo. Yeah, and this will be the last one I record today because I've done too many. But essentially, guys, I'm going to show you how to pretty much transition into the FortiManager. At least it's a good idea of how to use your FortiManager if you're not quite ready to use it for central management. Now, I've done a demo of this before. I'm just going to do it for this topology because essentially what I want to do is create the FortiManager before I go any further forward as a backup repository. So anything that I do on the FortiGates, any changes that I do will be automatically backed up and sent to the FortiManager. So if I ever need a rollback, I could easily do that. So that is going to be our goal. So, and this is technically considered a demo. All right. So we're actually doing something now. So we're going to create the backup ADOM. So because you have to have a specific ADOM to do that. And then we're going to add the FortiGate to the FortiManager. Okay. And now that ADOM is going to be read only. In other words, nothing that happens on the FortiManager will affect the FortiGate unless we push down a script to it directly. Okay. And then very lastly, just to keep this a little bit shorter, I'll probably break this up for the later video, but we're going to send logs to it because we did turn that on as a FortiAnalyzer. Okay. Um, so let's go ahead and do it. Are you guys ready? So let's go ahead and create a backup ADOM. So um, we'll log into our management PC. Okay, here's our FortiManager, and I'm going to log in using my super cool credentials. All right. And as you can tell here, we have only a single ADOM, which is going to be root. All right. The global one will have to be for another lecture for another day. But here is our FortiAnalyzer. Here's our system settings. Here's a device manager. So we're going to want to go ahead and create a backup ADOM. Now remember, the whole point of this, all right, is to have all the changes back up to the FortiManager, but the FortiManager not centrally manage the FortiGate. So we're going to say create new, okay? And I'm going to call this backup, and it is for FortiGate 6.2. All right. Now it is important that you keep the version number the same. Okay. And the reason why is because the syntax and also because databases are involved in the structuring. Um, Anyways, stuff you learn about if you take a FortiManager, FortiAnalyzer class. Anyways, right here. So normal is where the FortiManager is rewriting the FortiGate. Here I'm going to say backup. And if you notice right away, a bunch of stuff disappears. So it wants to allocate 50 gigs. No, maybe 5. All right. Um, Here we go. And then I'm going to hit OK. And this is also for the FortiAnalyzer part of it. Okay. So I'm going to hit all right. It's going to go ahead and create that backup ADOM. And ADOMs or administration domains are just boundaries. So each one has a different database. And so if we go ahead and we come here to the backup, I hit the wrong one. I'm awesome. If we go to the backup, all right, we're going to add the FortiGate to this backup ADOM. And if you notice, all we really have here is the device manager and then the FortiAnalyzer side of things. And that's what we want, okay? And I'm going to demo that in a later video of why that's special, okay? Oh, you know what? I forgot the most important thing. By the way, guys, I found out that if you are running the FortiManager 5.4 or higher, okay, and let's see here, where's my admin stuff? Here we go. Admin settings. I have found that the parrots work awesome. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my squirrel moment. Okay, moving on, guys. Also, I'm going to do the timeout to 480 so I can actually keep from logging in and out of this bad boy in our lab environment. Okay, like I said, that was my squirrel moment. And guys, guess what? That's it. We created a backup ADOM. What? Okay, so let's go ahead and connect the FortiGate to it. Now, the real important thing here is we need to make sure that the FortiGate has the ports open in it to allow that to happen. All right, and there's a really easy way to check that. So I'm going to go back to my management PC, and here's the FortiGate. I'm going to log in. All right. And you're going to want to make sure that there is a FortiManager FortiGate access turned on the interface that's pointing towards the FortiManager. And the FortiManager is sitting in our management network. All right, so if I scroll this over, you'll see here FMG access is there. And what that does is essentially open up the necessary listening ports for the FortiManager and the FortiGate to talk to each other directly. Now, if you do have a device in between these that are doing any kind of like ACL or any kind of like firewall policy, there is documentation on the website of what ports need to be open for what. The main one, by the way, is going to be TCP ports 541. All right, that's going to be the main port number and transport protocol that the FortiGates get managed from the FortiManager. But because this is on, we should be good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And you can do this two ways. You can either do it from the FortiManager or from the FortiGates. So for kicks, I'm going to do it from the FortiManager. So I'm in the correct ADOM. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to my device manager and I'm going to add a device. All right, I'm going to put in the IP address of the FortiGate on the same subnet as the FortiManager, and then you have to have admin super user access to do this, okay? So it's going to go out there, and as you can see, it found it. There was no problem with it. We'll name it HQ FortiGate. All right, everything looks good, and we're going to hit next. And now it's building the database that it needs to store those configuration files within the FortiManager. Okay, so boom, baby. That's done. So this does take a little bit, and that's because, it has to, once again, create all the moving parts. Okay, so after that gets done, though, I'm gonna review some stuff here. So, all right, so it's been added successfully. I'm gonna say import later. Okay, and there is our device. All right, so basically we're using this for a logging repository. All right, so I don't even know. Okay, I'm like, shouldn't be out of sync. It's read only. Look at that though. Did it automatically do logging to the FortiAnalyzer too? We're gonna have to check that out. So, but basically, what happens here is that we can't push down settings directly. So when we double click this FortiGate, because it's in read only mode, you're gonna have a revision history up here. All right, and as you can see, we have the initial retrieved. Okay, and then something here happened. All right. But anyways, and then you can look at the dashboard, so on and so forth, right? You keep an eye on the registration. It's not too bad. So other than that, that's it though. I mean, there's nothing else. But as you can see here, we can push down firmware if we wanted to. We could check licenses. Okay, looks like I need to update something there. Anyways, we can run scripts directly on it. All right, so on and so forth. So kind of cool. So let's go ahead and do some changes on the FortiGate. So you're going to notice here, even though we connected a FortiManager to it, when I log out and log back in, it's not going to act like it's being managed. So normally, if there is management happening, there's big messages saying, hey, why are you doing this from the FortiAnalyzer or the FortiManager? Why aren't you doing this from the FortiManager, I meant to say. As you can see here, we can just go by our business, okay? What's important though, all right, is that every single change that we do in here is going to be recorded once the admin logs out. So here we go. Are you guys ready? I'm going to go to my firewall policies, okay? and I'm just going to turn logging on. All right, so maybe I want to see, hope this doesn't kill my 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 lab environment, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn on all logging here. All right, now normally we'd be a little more specific than that, but I just want to collect logs. So anytime my production goes out to the internet, I want to see a copy of it. Now, normally you'd write different policies for that, but I just want to generate log files at this point. You can even log inner department traffic, right, for reporting. And the whole idea is to get back to the FortiAnalyzer, which happens to be the FortiManager here. All right. So how do we know it's actually working? Well, there's a couple of places to verify this. Traditionally, all right, we always went here to our log settings to take a look at the FortiAnalyzer. And as you can see here, even though it said it was logging, is it really logging? I don't see it. All right, so that's where we would traditionally do it. Starting with 6.0, they did move that same setting to the security fabric. So if we come over here to settings, you're going to see, hey, look at that. That's what we did. Okay, and if we go to our FortiAnalyzer logging, all right, we can say use FortiManager. We can do it in real time and we can test the connectivity. And there it is. All right, guys, that's it. It's now sending the log files, okay, to the FortiAnalyzer. So as we collect logs, we can eventually, going forward, have enough to do some reporting demos on the FortiAnalyzer. Also, more importantly, as I go forward, let me hit apply. Here we go. We cannot find a valid serial number associated with your FortiAnalyzer certificate. This is new, by the way. If you have a problem with that, just turn this off. All right. So that way it verifies the FortiAnalyzer certificate. That doesn't seem to be a problem for most people, but I know that that's something new that's in 6.2 that can give people problems. So don't worry about that. If you get that error message, just be cool with it. So I know there's more to it, but it's not a part of this demo. So, but if you guys notice here, I did make changes to the FortiGates. I'm not getting any error messages. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to log out for the day. Okay. And then if I come up here to the FortiManager and I hit my refresh, all right. Um, I don't think I did the right button, by the way. My GUIs collapsed. I think I actually pulled a retrieve, which said, go out there and see what the FortiGate's configured as. I did not mean to do that. My bad. Um, Let me hit the refresh up here. All right. That was embarrassing. All right. So anyways, this was me hitting the wrong button. So you see how it jumped all the way to 6. So basically this button right here usually says retrieve config. And what that means is go out to the FortiGate, see how it's configured and make a fresh copy in the revision database. All right. This right here though, all right, where it says um, auto backup, right, from the admin, that was me actually making the changes and just logging out of the FortiAnalyzer. Okay, so what's neat about that is every little step that I do. So if I go ahead and I view the config, all right, we'll be able to see those. I can even compare the let's see here, compare differences, so we can see what happened between one and the one that I did. Show us the differences only, and you can see me actually putting in the FortiAnalyzer settings. Okay, this is also a great way to learn the CLI and also to work with scripts, and that's what I'm going to do in my next video. That's going to have to wait till tomorrow though. All right, so but basically we can output that to a script and then we can run it directly on the FortiGates from the FortiManager. So guys, honestly, that's it for this demo. So we created the backup ADOM, which is a read only from the FortiManager, but as you guys can see here, the FortiManager can still have a lot of functionality as being a a change repository, and acting as a FortiAnalyzer, we're also dumping logs to it, okay, which we're going to build some reports later on for. And every little change that we do, if you're not silly like me and hit the retrieve button, there shouldn't have been 6 there. There should have just been 4. Um, and I'll do that in a later demo if I have to. But basically now as I go forward to build my topology with the different branch offices, every little change I do, every little change is going to be documented so I can see exactly what happened. So guys, if you're not using your FortiManager for anything, at least use it for this, okay? Also, let's just go ahead and verify that the logging is coming through, and look at that, it is, okay? So, and you can see that we have a total usage here. Logs are coming in, all right? And that's going to be in a later demo where we come in here and we can actually view the log files and basically build reports. So, which is going to be nice. So, anyways, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. And like I said, in the next one, I will do some more. And look at that, man. Look at that CPU spike. Ugh. Anyways, I'll I'll do some more cool stuff. So, okay, I hope someone found that helpful. And until next time.